I'm a 29-year-old woman who had to relocate temporarily to another city for my academic program. I moved in September and will remain here until June. My sister contacted me recently, saying she saw my husband with my closest friend. She wouldn't have thought much of it, except she sensed they looked guilty, like they'd been caught. I accessed his phone remotely and found their messages, including texts about their encounter with my sister. I sent him all the evidence I found. In response, I created a Tinder profile and started chatting with a guy. Our conversation turned flirty, and we arranged to meet this Friday. I captured screenshots of our chat and sent them to my husband as well. Since yesterday, he's been bombarding me with calls and texts, pleading, "Please, darling, don't do this." But I don't believe I've hurt him as deeply as he's hurt me. If you're considering divorce, you'll have a stronger case if you avoid documenting your Friday meetup. I totally understand the emotional urge, though. I'm so sorry you're going through this. That's heartbreaking. I found out about my abusive ex-husband's infidelity in the worst way. I went to the ER thinking I had a UTI. The doctor returned with test results and said, "It's not a UTI, it's chlamydia." I called my husband, told him to get tested, and to inform his girlfriend to do the same. He had the nerve to accuse me of cheating. I went back home because I had no other option. Days later, my best friend called me in tears, saying her husband was furious. She'd been diagnosed with chlamydia too. That friendship was over. Sadly, I stayed with my ex for years, leaving him 4 times over 24 years. The final straw was when he struck me while I was holding our newborn. He stalked me across the East Coast, even threatening our lives. I learned a month ago he's been dead for 2 years. I'm free now, but the fear lingers. Don't destroy yourself trying to burn him down. If you're planning revenge, keep it quiet and don't share details. Your husband and best friend? Classic betrayal. Cut them both off, especially her. That friendship is done. You'll never trust her again. Her marriage is likely over too once I deal with my husband. I'm not saying we're the same, but when I cheated to get back at an unfaithful partner, it didn't bring the closure I expected. Be cautious. There might be emotional consequences, even if they don't hit right away. Sometimes the fallout comes after the anger fades. I agree. I once planned to get even with a cheating ex-girlfriend, but it fell apart. Later, when I'd moved on, I was relieved it didn't happen. Deep down, I didn't want to stoop to her level. Cancel the Tinder meetup and start looking for a top-notch divorce lawyer. Gather your evidence quietly and don't tip your husband off about your plans. Be smart and calculated. I've learned more about the affair, and my husband thought explaining himself would somehow help. It only made things worse, far worse. I haven't spoken to him face-to-face because that's what he wants, and I'm not giving him that. I've just been reading his desperate texts since I refused to answer his calls. I'm in another city for my final semester of school, something we both thought we could handle. Real couples who truly love each other make it work. I go home every other weekend, and he visits me here on alternate weekends. When my classes are online, I stay with him. I knew distance would be tough, but I never imagined he'd cheat and use loneliness as an excuse. His reasoning? He said the separation was harder than he expected, and he missed me constantly. He ran into my best friend by chance, shared how much he was struggling, and she was there for him. That's how it started, supposedly because he missed me. Imagine moving away from your loved ones to a city where you're alone, only to hear your husband use that as an excuse for betraying you. On Friday, I called my best friend's husband and told him everything. I wanted to be certain before I disrupted another marriage, especially since they have 2 kids. I apologized and said he deserved to know from me rather than through rumors. He was stunned and heartbroken, but thanked me. We talked for hours, reflecting on how we missed the signs and how oblivious we'd been. I heard he's since moved out with their children. My ex-best friend sent me a single message calling me spiteful and claiming her husband loves her, so my revenge failed. I've been staying at an Airbnb to avoid my husband, who, as I predicted, showed up at my apartment. I met the Tinder guy for drinks. He knows I'm newly single, only in town temporarily, and not looking for anything serious. I posted a photo of our drinks on my Instagram story, making sure his arm was visible. My phone exploded with over 100 calls and texts from my husband. Honestly, I needed someone to talk to. I don't have close friends here, so it was nice to connect with someone. He's attractive, and we've texted about meeting again. Nothing happened Friday, but it might eventually. I know I can't hurt my husband the way he hurt me because I don't think he ever loved me the way I loved him. His pain comes from his ego, not love. He and my former friend are both awful. My husband and I lived apart for the first 2 years of our relationship, seeing each other weekly like you. It's not easy, but it's not an excuse to sleep with your spouse's best friend. He cheated because he wanted to, knowing I wasn't around to catch him. He even brought her to our home twice before feeling any remorse. Don't go back to him, and your ex-friend is trash too. I hope her husband leaves her. From what I've heard, he's done with her and doesn't think the marriage is worth saving. Good. It's sad for their kids, but it's better than growing up in a loveless home. I grew up wondering why my parents stayed together. They married because my mom got pregnant with my brother. They finally divorced when I was 18, after 20 years. I wasn't surprised. It was long overdue. I hope your ex-friend and husband end up together, keeping their toxicity away from others. My ex married his mistress 30 days after our divorce. They both cheated again soon after. She thought he was her ticket to wealth, but I got the stock options, half his pension, alimony, and child support. He still tries to manipulate me, 28 years later. I hope you don't have kids with this guy or go back to him. You deserve better. My husband is a surgeon who acts like he's the center of the universe. He's too important to bother with our kids, and I'm fed up. According to him, he's a god who decides life and death, too busy for the petty concerns of his family. He can't be bothered to spend time with our daughters. When he's home, he demands silence, annoyed by their laughter or excitement to see him. My dad has stepped up instead. He's the one who changed their diapers, picks them up from school, attends their recitals, helps with homework, plays Santa, and organizes Easter egg hunts. My husband, meanwhile, is too important for any of that. Yet he's jealous that the girls are closer to my dad than to him. My dad is now struggling financially. We could help, but my husband refuses. He'd rather see my dad move across the country, away from our kids. I stood my ground, and now he's venting about it online. Well, I'm here too, dear. If you want to air our marriage problems publicly, I can do the same. Your dad sounds like an amazing father and grandfather. Your kids know who's really there for them. Maybe consider compensating your dad for all the child care he provides. It's not a handout, it's payment for his work. I work with doctors, including surgeons, and most male surgeons I know have affairs and multiple divorces. They're brilliant in the operating room, but often emotionally immature and socially clueless. My ex-fiance's dad, a surgeon, introduced his mistress to his family and moved her into their home, forcing his wife into the guest room. She later took her own life. That callousness ended my engagement. Surgeons are often the worst co-workers, arrogant and out of touch. One had to be told twice not to put metal in the microwave. You must be incredibly patient. Consider moving your dad closer and best of luck. This post exploded and I was furious when I wrote it. Now I'm just exhausted. My husband came by yesterday to grab some things and we fought. I made sure the girls were with my dad because I didn't want them to witness it. He said cruel things about me, my dad, and our daughters. I spoke with my mom afterward. She and I have a complicated relationship, but I need her support for what's coming. I met with a lawyer she recommended today, and I'm grateful for the prenup she insisted on when I got married. I'm done talking to my soon-to-be ex. My attorney is handling communication. The comments here gave me strength. He made me feel worthless yesterday, especially with what he said about our girls. I'm not angry anymore, just heartbroken. My daughters deserve better. I wanted a happy family, not a repeat of my parents' divorce. I tried so hard to avoid this, but I've failed. Many of you asked for an update, so here's a brief one. The divorce is moving forward. He's moved out, and my dad has moved in. The girls are doing okay. All it took was giving my husband and his mistress my blessing for their relationship to fall apart. I've known about his affair for 10 months, since he nearly missed our daughter's birth. We had a planned C-section, but she arrived early, and I called him frantically while in pain. My mom finally reached him. When he showed up, he reeked of a perfume I despise and looked guilty rather than thrilled. At home, I checked his phone and confirmed the affair. I confronted him, but he denied it. I didn't push back, and he probably thought I believed him. One night, he came home late, smelling of that perfume again. I broke down, begging him to choose our family. He denied it again, and I let it go. After New Year's, I took the kids to town, telling myself I was shopping. I ended up near his office at lunchtime, looking into restaurants, expecting to catch them together. My heart was pounding, but when I saw them in the restaurant we used to visit, I felt calm, not devastated. The relief was overwhelming, like a weight lifted. I even felt embarrassed for predicting his behavior so accurately. That moment, I stopped loving him. I approached them calmly, saying I wasn't there to make a scene, but needed to see it for myself. I told her she'd won and could have him. I warned him not to follow me, or I'd scream. At home, he wanted to talk, but I said I was done feeling hurt or angry. He was free to be with her. Since then, they've been fighting over text, and he ended the affair. I'll never understand why my tears didn't stop him, but my permission did. Affairs and secrecy are thrilling, but divorce, STD tests, and child support aren't. He didn't want her. He wanted the ego boost of sneaking around. Now that I've stepped out of the game, he's panicking about losing his real partner, home, and kids. Too bad. He destroyed his life for a woman he doesn't even want. I'm filing for divorce. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences. Please give me advice.